Welcome back into the Sports Source. This segment brought to you by Southeast Termite and Pest Control. Summer is here. With it come mosquitoes. With it comes mosquitoes. Unless you call Southeast Termite and Pest Control, you can set up a treatment or multiple treatments for your home. Mosquitoes, they don't travel very far. So if you kill off all the mosquitoes in your yard, your neighbor's mosquitoes aren't going to come invade. They're just going to be eaten alive in their backyard. You'll be fine. You can grill out and not be carried off by mosquitoes. It's your neighbor that's going to be eaten. Get a treatment, Southeast Termite and Pest Control. Give them a call. They do great work. Okay, another segment of What I Say. We got more Vols leaders talking. Let's get some responses to these. Jeremy Pruitt on his system. He was asked about his offensive system. He said, I think the big thing is at every position we've got to identify who our best players are, and we've yet to do that based off the fact that there's lots of guys that hadn't got on campus yet. It'll be a big deal during fall camp. Heck, our best players might be 3 tight ends and 1 wide receiver. Who knows? Or it might be 2 running backs. There's lots of things that we've got to figure out, but from a conceptual standpoint, we have a plan of what we want to do, and we'll go from there.
And I think if you read into that a little bit, if you've got 3 tight ends and that's your best offensive players, then we'll play 3 tight ends. If we're out receivers, you go back to the great coaches, NFL, Don Shula. Had a quarterback who threw 12 times a game, then he went to Dan Marino and threw 40 times a game. Bill Belichick changes game to game. The great coaches take what they got and figure out a way to use it. And that's what I hope he's going to be able to do.
Urban Meyer at Florida, he got down there with Chris Leak, tweaked his system, won a national championship by letting Leak be a drop-back passer. Tebow would run in there and do the spread stuff. If that's what he's saying.
Nick Saban has changed.
Yes, he has. He didn't want to do hurry up. He didn't want the mobile quarterback. He's done both. Both of these things, though, you look at, and if you hear coaches say it, I should say. You hear coaches say this all the time, and they don't live up to it. If he says it, he lives up to it, I think he's in for a good run. That's a great sign. Okay, next one. Philip Fulmer, this is a quick one. Somebody asked him about playing Memphis in football. He says it makes sense to have that conversation. Quote, about playing Memphis in football again. No conversations have started yet. He says it makes sense to play or to at least have the conversation. Anyone on Memphis?
Yes. Play in Memphis. I've covered I don't know how many Tennessee games against Memphis, at Memphis. There's no way it's not a good thing for the big orange flag and nation to be all over Liberty Bell Stadium in Memphis on a Saturday in the fall.
As Ryan, I think, will say, it's going to help you in recruiting.
And it helps basketball.
Yeah, you take on recruiting for football.
It helps more in football, I think, than it even would in basketball. I think football, people would be talking about it. It'd be a big deal. I think it would help some. But at the same time, when you're talking about non-conference scheduling, do you want to play a game like that you don't have to, away from home?
Right. Then you're giving up a home game 2 years in a row because you're not going to play them on the road and some other big school on the road, and it's not going to be your big school for your home and home. I'm just not big on playing Memphis.
And let's face it, right now, Memphis, they're probably good enough to beat Tennessee.
Which Philip Fulmer actually said we haven't seen them at this level before. They have improved. He gave them credit. Okay, last one. Rick Barnes on Philip Fulmer. With all that has gone on in his 3 years as coach here, which has been a lot, when you think about it, what Coach Fulmer has done is kind of calmed the sea. There's a calmness that we have right now. I think a lot of it has to do with him. Anyone?
Well, yeah. I mean, maybe you're at the point now where you do have stability. But, I mean, some of the uncalmness also happened before Curry was hired, when Fulmer was in there. So, I mean, I think it's kind of a two-way street. But you do seem to be at a place right now. Where else do you go for uncalm?
Oh, the suggestion being that if you just held on to Curry, it would have been more calm.
Exactly.
So
now,
yeah.
Doesn't mean that Curry's better. It just means that, yes, you could have had another kind of calmness with a different person.
But he still calmed it. He went in, stirred it, and calmed it. I don't know. I will say this. I think you are getting now it's off season. I think a lot of this goodwill toward men goes out the window. They'll be taking it to the goodwill.
Yes.
Once seasons start and losses start to pile up in whatever sport. But right now I do think there is a calm over the fan base. I think most of the fan base feel pretty good with things right now because they have a face that they recognize.
How much more could your basketball team have overachieved than being picked 13th and sharing the conference championship? I mean, you're doing something to keep things looking better. I think a lot of the calmness is from basketball
and if you can't be calm about your football team in May, then you're never going to be calm.
Right. Okay, good deal. When we come back, Philip Fulmer is slow playing the whole Neyland Stadium renovation project. Remember those $300 million that we're going to improve and upgrade Neyland? We'll see where that goes. Philip Fulmer's taking his time with it. I put the question to you folks on Twitter. I'll tell you what fans told us. I'm a little surprised. Also, big announcement that we've been putting on the crawl all day. We'll tell you about that next. Come on back.